me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Cool.
Yeah, all right. Can you
talk so you gotta sit,
all right. You gotta like sit back a little bit.
No, he's fine. Just,
no,
you gotta go.
Can you move that this way then? It's tugging.
There.
That's good then.
Talk. I get that level.
All right. Here we are live at Bowen Fieldhouse on the campus of Eastern Michigan University for tonight's Mid-America Conference men's basketball game.
Here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I'm Mike Pistol, my partner in crime tonight. It's Phil Freeman. Welcome, Phil.
Welcome, Mike.
Tonight's matchup, your Eastern Michigan University Eagles. We're taking on who, Phil?
The Chippewas. Central. Well, actually, they're just the Chips now, aren't they?
The Chips. Those Indian activists.
Yeah.
Anyway, Phil's going to kick off the show with some keys to victory for your Eastern Michigan University, former Hurons, now Eagles.
Yes, Mike, and now that we've had enough of the jokes of changing the names, since we can't decide the Indian activists weren't having it anymore, the keys to victory tonight are, first, the Eagles are going to have to control the game. It's no secret, ladies and gentlemen, that the Eagle backcourt is the heart and soul of this team. As the backcourt goes, so go the Eagles. We have to have a good night out of Boykins and Dial, scoring and distributing the ball and keeping the offense in a constant flow. We also need to control the boards in this game and basically just control the tempo. Central is not doing very well this year. They're 1-7 in the conference.
All right. Thanks, Phil. We're about to take the jump ball here. We got Ingache Zugu matched up against the center from Central. That's Dan Schell. Starting for the Eagles are the 5 seniors as usual. And usually controls the tip as Derek Dial pulls it down. And he gives it to Earl Boykins. Earl Boykins is working against the point guard for Central Michigan. That's number 20, John Borovich. Also on the floor is number 35, Ed Carter. Number 34, as I mentioned, Dan Schell. Number 33, that's Tim Kistner. And number 10, Aaron Glover. And Lincoln Zugu takes it strong, gets the bucket, and he gets the biscuit, Phil.
That is a nice play. That's exactly what the Eagles have to do. Everyone knows that Boykins commands attention when he's on the court. If Boykins can drive to the basket, he can draw defenders. Then all he has to do is dish the ball off to a big guy who can take it strong to the basket and finish for the easy three-point opportunity.
Well, foul was on number 33. That's Tim Kisner. Ingache Zugu missed the free throw.
Ink's been playing well as of late, I think we should add. He's turned in 4 double-doubles this season.
Hey, I'm sure there's more where that came from.
His most recent one, in fact, coming against Northern Illinois on January 17th in a game in a very close contest that the Eagles managed to pull out in the end, 75-72. Ingache finished with 12 points and 11 rebounds in that contest.
Well, they see number 33, that's Tim Kisner, getting the basket off the inbound there. Earl Boykins finds James Head up top.
Yes, Central will look at a lot of different players for scoring this year. There are other starters. The lowest one averages about 7.5 points a game, and the highest average is about 11.5. So there's a lot of balanced scoring on that team. With the Eagles, it's no secret who the big offensive weapons are. Boykins and Dial.
Hey, but there's another one there. Jay Head as he drains a long jumper.
Yes, James Head has been playing well this year, and especially as of late, he has raised his average to double figures at 11 points per contest. It's going to be interesting to see how the Eagle offense flows tonight, since I heard a rumor that they changed their offensive set a little bit, and they've moved James Head to the 4 and John Zajac to the 3, reversing the 2 positions.
Well, no good basket, rebounded by Derek Dial. Earl Boykins pushing the ball up court. He'll slow things down, see what he has. John Zajac up top, back to Boykins on the near wing. He's working against number 20, that's John Borovich. He's a far wing Zajac, takes the baseline jumper, it's short. Rebounded by Central. They're pushing the ball up court.
Even though Zajac missed that shot, that's not a bad shot. Zajac can hit that. And with Central playing a 1-3-1 zone, Eastern is going to have to take some outside shots to get him to come out of that zone.
Another rebound by Derek Dial, a three-pointer. Once long by Tim Kisner. Here's Dial finding John Zajac. who got molested a little bit on the play there.
Yeah, it looked like on the first play that they could have called a foul, but it looks like the officials are letting him play a little bit. Zajac stuck with it, got the rebound, took it back up strong, and got the foul, and will go to the line for 2 free throws.
John Zajac, as you can see, is at the line. He'll be shooting 2 free throws here for the Eastern Michigan University Eagles. The first one's up, counted.
Yep, John Zajac coming on strong as of late. You know, he usually steps up in the big games. Michigan being the most memorable probably this year.
He was phenomenal, Phil.
A senior out of St. Clair Shores, Lakeshore, who averages 6 points and 5.5 rebounds a game.
He's a 50% free throw shooter, but he knocks them both down there, Phil.
Yep. He struggled earlier in his career with free throw shooting. I think it's the same problem that plagues a lot of people, lack of concentration.
Well, Central has the numbers, but Ingachezugu gets the rebound. A loose ball foul will be called on number 10, Ryan Jansen, as that's 3 team fouls in the first 2.5 minutes for the Chippewas.
Yeah, Central's going to need to stay out of foul trouble if they want to stay in this game. They're going to have to do a better job converting on the fast break there. They had a 3-on-2 and were unable to convert. And then Ingachezugu with a strong rebound.
Here you see Earl Boykins. Again, he's working against, as I said earlier, John Borovich. Head cross court to John Zajac. He's looking inside, nothing going on. Finds Earl. Boykins with the 3-pointer. Cash! Nothing but the bottom of the net.
That's good ball movement by the Eagles. They worked the ball around, took what Central gave them, looked for something. They couldn't get anything inside since Central doesn't appear to want to come out of that zone. And Earl made them pay with the 3. Although playing his zone isn't all that bad. In the contest I spoke of earlier against Northern Illinois, Eastern had a 12-point lead at the half, but Northern Illinois was able to cut the lead to 1 late in the game.
As you mentioned, cutting the lead, Ed Carter cuts to the basket, slashes in the Eastern's lead. It's now 9-4. Eagles are on top.
As over the years, this group of Eagles that I've watched over their entire career have struggled at times against the zone defense.
Well, here's Earl pulling up. That one rattles in and out. Rebounded by number 35 on Central Michigan University roster. That's Ed Carter.
And it looks like Eastern's guards, at least, and their big men right now, are very content with settling for the jumper. With the 9-4 lead, I guess that's all right. But if Central scores a basket here, I think you really need to think about going inside.
Oh, nice look by Central. Oh, the circus shot is no good by the Central Michigan University. Number 33, Tim Kisner, but he'll draw the foul and a free trip to the charity stripe.
That was a very nice play. Central took advantage of the fact that Eastern at times plays very aggressively on defense and denies the passing lane. And then we saw one of my favorite plays made great by the Princeton Tigers, the backdoor cut.
Well, Tim Kisner's on the line for Central Michigan University. First one's up, it's good. 3 points on the night so far for Kisner. Central's losing right now at 9-5, pending this free throw by Kisner. That rattles in and out, rebounded by John Zajac, the senior.
There's Eastern running the break. Oh, nice.
Ingachezugu cleans up the garbage. 4 points for Ingachezugu so far tonight.
That was nice. That was a nice way to stay with the play by Izugu. I'm sure everyone thought that Dial was going to be able to put that down, but the defender for Central got in there and got his hand on the ball and knocked it away enough that Dial couldn't get a hold.
Well, the fadeaway's no good by Central. Rebounded by Derek Dial again.
The Eagles with their spark plug doing what they do.
Oh. Ingachezugu doesn't get the basket, but he does get the foul. He'll take another trip to the line.
And as I said before, Eastern is scoring in the best way they like to. That is by the fast break. The poor shooting by Central is igniting the fast break for Eastern. And Central's shooting woes continue. As a team, they shoot very poorly from the field. They're right at the bottom of the conference.
Their field goal percentage is 41%.
As a team, which is
less. Makes money on the first one. He's 1 for 2 so far on the night. Izugu, for the season from the free throw line, has been shooting a respectable 68%, Phil.
That's quite an improvement by Incache Zugu. If you look back at his free throw percentage in the earlier years, I'm sure it was hovering right around the 50% mark.
Oh yeah, he shows why with both of those. He's now 2 for 3 from the line so far tonight. That's 66%. You can't do the math at home. Whoa. Something I'd like to point out right real quick, Phil. One of the hot guns for Eastern Michigan University, Derek Dial, has not scored yet. But he's been doing the little things that count. He's leading all players in rebounds so far with 3 already. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't us, Phil.
I hope it wasn't. That sounded like some extreme technical difficulty. Somebody pulled the plug out somewhere.
Swoop's out here having some fun. How you doing, Swoop? Lovely dance team of cheerleaders in front of us, doing what they do best, Phil, getting the crowd pumped up for this game.
Yes, and as you were speaking of Derek Dial's rebounding ability, I think it's very interesting to note that even though he is the 2 guard, he is 9th in the conference in defensive rebounds with 4.3 a game.
Very interesting, very.
So Dial is not afraid to go to the glass.
Well, again, you're watching the ETV Game of the Week here on ETV. Your score after this first break is 13-5. The Eagles are on top of the Chips from Central Michigan University. There's 15 minutes, 21 seconds remaining. I am Mike Pitzel. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Phil Freeman. Phil, what have your thoughts been on this game so far?
Well, it's been a very interesting game. I mean, Central's came out. They've got some good looks, and they've got some good shots. They've got some open shots. They just haven't been able to convert. If they can start knocking down some of these shots, they can make it an interesting game. Eastern's come out and did what they want to do. They've done a lot of running and a lot of shooting, which is what they like to do, and they've pretty much controlled the boards. They haven't given up a lot of offensive rebounds to the Central team. So I'd say Eastern is definitely winning the momentum right now. And it shows with a 13-5 lead on the scoreboard.
Well, here's Central going down low. That is their center, Dan Shell. He gets 2 points. Chalk him up. Earl Boykins looking to take it to the hole. He pulls back, finds James Head up top. James Head goes down to the corner for John Zajac. He'll dribble, finds Earl Boykins up top. He thinks about it. He'll slow it up though and take a break. Here's Zajac. He finds Dial. Dial's up top. He forces it with 3 seconds on the clock. He gets the rim. It's tipped out by Incache Zugu, and Earl Boykins controls it. And I believe there's going to be a technical foul called here, Phil.
Yes, there is. There's going to be a technical foul.
Head coach Jay Smith in his first season with Central Michigan University is not shown by example.
Now, Jay Smith, he's a little hot about that. I think he definitely thought there should have been an over-the-back call there on that last play, and there was no call made, and he came right out of the coaching box and was practically on the court. Maybe in the Big Ten you can get away with that, but I don't know. He might want to impress Steve Fisher, who is rumored to be here tonight in Bowen Fieldhouse.
He was here during the last game. Earl Boykins makes good 1 of 2 from the line on the free throws. There's Earl showing his ball handling skills. So he's drawing the double team every time he goes down low, Phil. He's going to take it back up and reset the offense for the Eagles.
I think it'll be very easy for him to create wide open looks for other players if he just dribbles to the basket and kicks.
But John Zajac is blocked by Dan Shell. The ball, Chippewas going, Chippewas going hard up the court. Number 33 on Tim Kisner. Gets a little bit closer to the fans than I think he wanted to be.
Yeah, you got to like the hustle, though, by the Central Michigan player to try to keep the ball in play, but you also have to be very impressed by the quickness of Earl Boykins to get back there and break the play up.
Phil, I think I heard him say, hey, how you doing?
Oh, really?
Here's Derek Dow taking it to the hole. He draws a foul from Central Michigan University's. It'll be on Ed Carter, Phil.
Yep. And Central looks very confused right now on defense. They really don't know what they want to do. Eastern is not settling for the jumper as they were early in the game. They're starting to take the ball to the basket, and Central doesn't know how to really deal with that. Instead of standing in there and taking the charge, they're swatting at players as they go by.
Well, Derek Dial makes good on the first of 2 from the line as we have some substitutes now for the Eagles. We have Sharif Fordham and Avon Howard checking in as John Zajac and Inche Zugu take a seat. And Eastern now going with a 4-guard oriented offense now, Phil.
That's very interesting. In fact, that would definitely favor the Eagle offense. And as I look at Central, I don't see quite a few large individuals on their team. It looks like they're pretty small as well. So Eastern is definitely not giving up any height advantage anywhere by going to this small lineup.
Well, Dial missed the second free throw. And here's Derek Dial now playing the power forward position for the Eagles. He didn't get called for a foul.
Yeah, he pushed the guy all the way down the court. I think he made the ref have to call that one. You can only bump the guy for so long.
Well, that's Derek Dial's first personal, team's second.
It'll be interesting to see if Eastern tries any trapping. It looks like they're going solid man-to-man right now out of this set. It'll be interesting to see if they do any trapping now that they have...
Well, Dan Schell converts a little baby hook from about 6 feet out. He got 4 points so far tonight.
Yeah.
Avon Howard now working the point as Earl Boykins swings over the 2-guard. Sharif Fordham is playing the small forward position. He'll take it up. They're going to call for the travel. He won't get the foul, which is what the crowd wanted.
Yeah, well, he took that little bunny hop before he took it up. He pump faked, and then when he didn't get the defender to leave his feet, he was a little unsure about what he wanted to do and took that little baby step, which you can't do.
Well, here's John Borovich working against Earl Boykins. Finds Carter up top. Goes down inside the shell. He gets the basket and the biscuit.
And that's the problem you run into when you put James Head at the 5. He's more used to defending perimeter players and doesn't really know how to handle people when they get into the post. And as you see James Head give up that basket.
And as you mentioned, I see a Johnny Williams going up to the scorer's table. He's checking in for James Head.
And I do think you need to have either a Johnny Williams or Inkache Ezugu down there in the post where they feel comfortable. I don't know if James Head really feels comfortable playing post defense.
Michelle at the line now. He makes it. He has 7 points so far tonight.
As Central chips away. Mike chips away at that lead, if you will.
Yeah, I got it the first time.
Okay.
Avon Howard. He's working on the near wing for the Eagles offense. He finds Sharif Fordham out of the far wing. The dish to Earl Boykins back up top to Avon Howard. Sharif Fordham on the near wing. Inside to Earl. Earl pump fake. He's going to take him. He draws the guy, gets him stuck in the air. And then that's kind of deja vu-ish as what happened a little earlier this season when Earl got caught in the air and took the nasty spill.
Yes, it's unfortunate to see any player leave his feet and get caught in a, shall we say, an awkward predicament like that because you kind of leave yourself open.
Well, that's John Borovich's second personal foul. Team's 6th foul already. One more foul, and the Eastern will be in the will be in the bonus. And there's 12 minutes to go in this first half, Phil.
Yep, and
Dial pulls up a 3-pointer. It's no good. Rebounded by John Borovich. But a steal by Dial, and he's making good on that one, Phil.
And Dial, with a nice defensive play, brings the crowd into a frenzy, taking the ball strong to the basket and dunking it. I don't know what Central was doing there, but it looked like the Central defender, or the Central offensive player, threw the ball right to Dial.
There's Earl Boykins. He's pushing it up court. He finds Derek Dial. Dial misses. Rebound fought by Sharif Fordham, holds on to it. Finds a Johnny Williams who gives it to a Chippewa player.
Johnny Williams with a little indecision there, got the ball and wasn't really sure what he wanted to do with it, and it kind of just slipped right out of his hands as Central sets up on offense once again. Once again, a nice cut by Central, but they just can't finish.
Well, we're going to have a loose ball foul called here. I believe it'll be on the Eastern Michigan University Eagles. It'll be on number 22, yes, Avon Howard. That'll be his first personal. Team's 4th foul as we'll have officials timeout on the floor. 11 minutes, 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. You're watching the ETV Game of the Week. I'm Mike Pinsenall. My partner in crime tonight is Phil Freeman sitting next to me.
Phil,
Excuse me, go ahead, Phil.
Oh, at this time I would just like to bring it to the attention of our audience that senior guard Earl Boykins earned his second Mid-American Conference Player of the Week honor for the season after an outstanding week of action ending January 17th. Boykins scored 48 points with 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and 3 steals to lead the Eagles to wins over Ball State University on January 14th and over Northern Illinois on January 17th. He also singled out by the MAC for the week ending December 20th. Teammate Derek Dial was named the MAC Player of the Week for January 3rd.
Well, how could he not be after a 42-point performance, was a 28-point, and then a 45-point performance?
Yes, for a little 3-week stretch there, Mr. Dial was in a Jordan-esque, dare I say, zone.
It was a week and a half stretch.
Yeah, it was a while.
Dare I say, in fuego?
I don't know. Don't jinx him.
I don't mean to do the Puff Daddy remix on the terms, but you know how it is, Phil.
All right. As long as he's not getting jiggy with it.
Hey, I love that term. Think I'll use it later for our viewers at home. Just for you, Phil. The players are back in the court. The dance team and the cheerleaders are back in the sideline, and we're back in action on ETV. Central Michigan inbounding. Number 12, Ryan Jensen is now in. He finds number 52, that's Todd Simmons. Number 22, Luke Johnson now has the ball for the Chips. As Simmons finds, whoa, what a shot by Ryan Jensen.
And Central seemed to have found a nice little flow here on offense. They found something it looks like they're running a motion with the flex cut. A lot of picks, a lot of rolls. A lot of movement without the ball, and it seems to be working.
Well, Boykins gets an open look at the basket. You can't give him too many of those.
Yeah, that's a definite momentum stopper to give Earl Boykins a wide open jumper. He'll put a damper on your spirit in no time flat. Looks like we're going to get a foul right here on Boykins.
Loose ball foul will be called on Earl Boykins. It'll be his first personal, team's 5th foul so far in this ball game. You see Kisner. Evan Howard's going to get another foul call on him. That's his second personal, team's 6th foul so far in this first half of action.
Yep, and it's interesting to note right now that Eastern's leading scorer is Inkache Azugu with 6 points. And Earl Boykins has 4.
Here's Todd Simmons. He finds number 22. That's Luke Johnson who made that circus shot last time down. Far side to Simmons. Simmons right in front of us with Luke Johnson. They find Kisner. He goes inside the shell. The give and go to Johnson. And as the 3 Eagles hit him, one of them will get the foul.
I think it's going to be a Johnny Williams.
Corey Terrence on the floor right now, seeing his first action so far tonight. It will be on number 33, that's a Johnny Williams, his first personal, team's 7th foul. So with 10 minutes, 3 seconds, both teams are in the bonus now, Phil.
And I think both teams are going to need to take advantage of that. Central looks like the offense they're running right now, they're going to be taking full advantage of that with all the movement and all the picks and all the cuts that they're working on. That'll be good to their advantage that every time there's a foul, they'll be going to the line. I think Eastern needs to start taking the ball to the basket just a little bit more and not settling for the jumper as much.
Well, Dial checks back into action as Tim Kisner, the freshman 6'2" guard, converts on both of the free throws. Here's Evan Howard working the offense for the Eagles.
This is very interesting. It looks like Central has went back to a man-to-man defense. It'll be interesting to see what they do here if Boykins beats a guy off the dribble, and he does. But Corey
cannot convert.
A very nice feed from Boykins, but unfortunately, Corey Terra is unable to finish, as he may have got a little too cute there and not just taking it up strong for the easy two. That was a very interesting play right there. I was thinking there might be a goaltend called, but the officials didn't see it that way. I thought the new rule in college basketball was if you trap it against the glass, that it's goaltending. Was that your understanding, Mike?
As far as I knew, Phil.
Yet I guess the officials didn't see it that way.
Well, here's the Eastern Michigan University defending against the Chips from Central Michigan University, Phil. And Kisner has the ball. He's close to the timeline. Dial D'ing him up. Kisner frankly trying to find something going on here, as Eastern's D has been stupendous this time down.
Yes, as Eastern continues to stay in that very aggressive.
Big pick set by Curtis. Galeland now on the court for the Chips, playing the center position. Here's Kisner taking the deep three. That's even nowhere close, as the shot clock was at 1. Avon Howard rebounds. Earl Boykins working the ball up court. He pulls up for the tray. He'll draw contact from Kisner, and he'll go to the line and shoot 3 free throws.
Yep. That was a nice play by Boykins. He saw that he had his defender on his heels, unsure what he was going to do, so he decided to just pull up, and as the defender closed out, Earl might have did a little bit of acting there to get the trip to the line for the 3 free throw opportunities.
We're watching the ETV game of the week. 9 minutes, 3 seconds to go in this first half of action. Eastern Michigan University is on top, 19-16, with Earl Boykins on the line, shooting 3 free throws. First one is no good. Earl Boykins so far tonight is 1 for 3 from the free throw line, Phil.
And that's very uncharacteristic of Earl, who is right about 80% free throw shooter. Speaking of Earl and scoring points, Earl is currently second in the all-time scoring, Eastern Michigan career scoring at 1,810 points.
Who's the man he's behind?
The man he's behind is Kennedy McIntosh with a quite a large number that I don't think Earl can quite catch, 2,219 points for his career.
That's nothing.
But I'm sure Earl will be content to finish second.
Well, Earl is first in the assist list, beating Coach Neely as we talked to Coach Neely after last game, and the steal by Sharif Fordham.
And Sharif got a little excited there. He was thinking about what he was going to do when he got to the basket before he got there.
Breakaway, and he carries the ball, Phil.
He got called for that palming, that illegal dribble where you just kind of turned the. His was more of a cupping, I think you should say. He kind of just picked it up and tried to take a couple extra steps to get to the basket.
Well, regardless, it's a turnover for the Eagles. Central takes over on the offense. There's number 22, that's Luke Johnson.
And it looks like Eastern has went to a zone now, a 2-3 zone, or a 3-2 zone. Very interesting that the Eagles have switched to zone.
Johnson finds John Borovich. It's no good. Rebounded by Derek Dial.
Eastern appeared to be having so much success with that pressure man-to-man defense, but now they've went back to the zone.
With a cross-court pass, they find Corey Tarrant in the corner. James Head on the wing. John Zajac now. He's working against Chef. Here's Tarrant. Working off the screen, it's short. Rebounded by the big man. Big Curtis Galeland on there. Three-pointer's no good. By number 12, that was Ryan Jansen.
And it looks like Central right away realized the Eastern went to a zone and didn't hesitate to shoot 2 threes on 2 straight possessions. They were good looks, but Central just couldn't get the ball to fall.
Here's Derek Dial working the point guard position as both Earl Boykins and Avon Howard are getting a breather on the bench.
This is very interesting here.
Engache Azugwu, the team's leading scorer tonight, has 8 points now after that little 10-foot J he just drained.
Ink displaying the nice touch on the baseline, a shot that Ink has worked on his entire career and is finally falling for him on a consistent basis.
Well, here's Central. That's Borovich. Oh, he finds the big man, Curtis Galeland, on the run, and he gets a jam to finish off.
And that's a nice pass for the easy basket. It looks like Eastern's having a lot of problems keeping track of guys with all these picks that are going on.
Well, here's Corey Tarrant on the near corner. He shoots a three-pointer. It rattles off, though. James Head with an excellent offensive rebound. Can't get the putback. Another rebound for James Head. It appears he's going to get a foul called, as he was being molested by 3 Central Michigan players.
Yes, he was right down there in the middle of a bunch of maroon jerseys, but he was able to come up with not 1, but 2 offensive rebounds and stuck with it and finally drew the foul, and will be going to the line for the bonus opportunity.
6 minutes, 50 seconds of action left in this first half of play. You're watching the ETV Game of the Week here in Bowen Fieldhouse. Your Eastern Michigan University Eagles are on top, 2:18. As James Head is getting ready to shoot a pair of free throws.
And as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the offense in the first half have come from unexpected sources. Inkache Ezugu leading the team in scoring with 8 points. James Head scoring a few baskets. John Zajac scoring a few baskets.
James Head now has 3 points. He's a 42.9% free throw shooter from the line. So percentages show that he will miss this free throw.
We'll see. And well, Mike, the percentages, as often is the case, the percentages don't very rarely lie.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers just don't lie. But and as we speak of the numbers not lying, let us remember that Earl Boykins and Derek Dial are 3rd and 4th in the conference, respectively, averaging 23 points and 21.3 points a game. And since they are quite under that right now, I think we can expect a lot of firepower out of them before the night's over.
Oh, yeah. Here's a 3-point shot by number 33, Tim Kisner. It's no good. Ball rattling around, rebounded by number 35, Ed Carter, and he puts it back in for 2.
And Central is showing that they are not at all shy about shooting the 3. If you give them an open look, they will spot up and they will shoot it. They haven't got one to fall yet, but I think if they start knocking a few down, they might get some confidence and be able to hit a few more.
Inkache Ezugu gets a good look, but he can't get it to fall. Whose ball foul is going to be called? The question is, who's going to be called on?
I believe it's going to be called on number 35 for Central Michigan. That would be
35, Ed Carter it is from Central Michigan University. That's his second personal team's 10th team foul so far in this half.
And that means with just a second under 6 minutes left to go in the first half, Eastern will be in the double bonus for the rest of the half. I think they'll need to go inside and take advantage of that fact, try to draw some fouls and get to the line, and not only get Central in foul trouble, but get some easy scoring opportunities.
I couldn't agree more. As John Zajac has shown why there's exploited is he is 3 for 3 from the line so far tonight with 3 points.
Yes, and I think Zajac probably is looking forward to this game as a redemption chance for himself after a subpar performance Wednesday night at Western, where I hate to speak of when players do this, but he served up the big donut.
Well, but he's 4 for 4 from the line, gives him 4 points so far tonight. But we got some scores from around the league here for you we want to bring to you. We got Akron beating Kent 93-68. Ohio gets doused by Miami of Ohio by 15 points, Phil, 73-58. Western Michigan University is on top of Toledo right now, 14-9, with just over 10 minutes to go in that first half of action. Marshall, 69, Bowling Green, 67. And Ball State beats Northern Illinois by 10. What's going on in women's hoops today, Phil?
All right, in women's action, the Eastern women's basketball team, who has been on a pretty good streak lately, suffered a substantial blow today at the hands of the Central Michigan women, 83-61. In other women's action, Ball State defeated Northern Illinois 85-74. Bowling Green defeated Marshall 86-81. Toledo defeated Western 77-60. Ohio defeated Miami 84-69. And with 11 minutes left to go in the first half, Kent is leading Akron 54-48. Excuse me, that's in the second half with 11 minutes left to go.
Too bad about Lady Eagles today over at Central, Phil.
Yeah, if they would have won today, I think they would have been. Would they have been 500?
I don't know. I'll check on that. See if I can get that back to you.
I know they were closing in on that 500 mark, which would have been a nice feat because it's the closest they would have ever been to 500 since I've been at school.
Oh! Just a bit outside, Phil.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think that was a fade pattern to the corner, but
I think he was trying to hit that guy 3 rows up, 2 in from the end.
Yeah, he was trying to throw a touchdown pass to the concession stand, I believe. I don't know what that was.
Here's James Head pulling up for the 3-pointer. And rattles in and out. It's no good. Loose ball bouncing around on the floor. There's broader control.
John Zajac battles for the rebound, but is unable to control it as 3 Central players dive to the floor with him. And that's what you got. You got to like to see that hustle from both sides. Players getting down and dirty on the floor and going after that ball like it's a wad of money. And we're going to get another illegal dribble called on a Central player this time. I think that's a call that the MAC officials have been working on a lot more this year. I've seen it called quite a few more times as the illegal dribble.
Yep. Here's Earl Boykins for the Eagles, working the point guard. He's teed up on number 20. That's Luke Johnson on your Chips roster. Oh!
And
up and over the top for John Zajac as the ball flies in the Central Michigan bench.
And now we have it at one end and we have it at the other. An errant pass by Central and now an errant pass by Earl Boykins. Very uncharacteristic. I don't know if there was a miscommunication. He was thinking Zajac was going to fade a little bit and he came towards him, or I really don't know what happened there. But nonetheless, it was a turnover.
Be wary, folks. I think it's contagious. Central Michigan's going down, though. They kick it back outside for the three-pointer by Carter, and he does nothing but drain it.
And I believe that's Central's first three-point field goal of the game. Central is 1 for 6 from the three-point line, and they're going to have to improve their three-point shooting.
John Zajac missed that two-pointer, treated by Central Michigan, as Central Michigan pushes the ball back up court.
And if they can get to a respectable three-point shooting percentage here, they can easily bring themselves back into the game. It looks like Eastern has come out of that zone, though, now and went back to a solid man-to-man pressure defense.
Here's Carter again. This time he'll drive. Gets off the glass. This no good. As John Zajac pulls down the big-time rebound for the Eagles. Derek Dial pushed the ball up court. He'll pull up for the three-pointer. It's no good. John Zajac, though, waiting for the rebound.
I think we're going to get an over the back.
I think he'll get a call for the foul, yes.
An over the back on Zajac. It looks like he definitely grabbed the Central defender and used him as a stepladder to get to that rebound.
Well, that's his first personal, team's 8th foul. You have 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go in this first half of action here on your ETV Game of the Week.
And speaking of, as we saw on that last offensive series for the Eagles, Dial pull up but wasn't able to connect on the three. We know that Mr. Dial is by no means shy when it comes to shooting the three. He has connected with 182 threes in his Eastern career, which is best for 3rd on the all-time list. He is 22 three-pointers away from tying a Bowen Field House legend, if you will. Brian Tolbert, who is the current all-time leader with 204 threes in his career.
Well, that's Ed Carter. He makes good on both of his free throws. 2 for 2 from the line so far for Carter. He has a total of 7 points to lead the Chips in scoring. Carter, interesting. 7 points so far, Phil. You gotta like it, that kind of a performance out of a guy. He's only averaging, what is this, 6 points a game. He's already over his average. We got 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Yes, and speaking of the three-point shooting for Central Michigan, I don't know, I haven't seen Aaron Brown this evening. Have you seen him on the court, Mike? That would be
that name is not ring a bell.
Number 45. I don't see him here in the stat sheet as even been in the game yet tonight, and that's very interesting because over the last 10 games he has scored in double figures in 9 games for the Chippewa, for the Chips.
He appears to be a starter. He must be injured for the Chips.
Yeah, he must be injured because it appears that he has scored in double figures in 9 of the last 10 games, and he is the best three-point shooter on this Central Michigan team. He has 119 threes in his career.
Well, regardless, we're back in action here. Eastern Michigan University, Sharif Fordham taking the ball up court. He's getting some time at the point guard position for the Eagles. Speaking of point guard, there's Earl Boykins who drains a deep deuce for the Eastern Michigan University Eagles.
Yes, and just as Central had went on a run and tried to tie this game back up, Eastern goes to its bread and butter, Earl Boykins, and he knocks down the jumper.
Earl Boykins now with 10 points so far in this contest. Leads all scorers. 10 of Eastern's 28 points goes to EBD Earl Boykins.
And another 8 are by Inkache Izugu.
Sharif Fordham gets called for his first foul. And Tim Kisner connects on his first free throw.
As Central still is hanging around in this ballgame, the Eagles just cannot seem to put him away.
Kisner connects on both free throws. So far this season, he's shooting 70%. And that shows why.
Very quietly, Central has snuck back into this game. As we look up the scoreboard and notice with 3 minutes and 25 seconds left, it is Eastern 28, Central 27.
Earl Boykins with the jumper. It's going to fall wide. Rebounded by Central Michigan University's Carter. Here you see Kisner push the ball up court. And Gary Glover.
And I think Eastern has fallen into that slump that they become all too confident with. They start out with an early lead shooting jumpers, and then when the jumper isn't falling, they continue to shoot it instead of driving to the basket.
Well, Glover threw that ball between two of his teammates. They kind of didn't know who was going to get the ball and let it fly out of bounds.
And neither player seemed to know that the ball was intended for them, and they both stood there and watched it split them like a field goal through the uprights.
Oh, look at Akeche Zugwu. I think it's double figures off the dunk by Head. By Head.
A nice pass by James Head. Notice that the defender gambled, went for the steal, and was out of position. James went towards the basket, forced another man to step up to help, and gave the ball off to Ink for the easy basket. Now we have a very crucial point for Central. They need to get a good shot opportunity.
Oh! Rebound's no good. No good. Rebounded by Carter.
Number 34, Shell for Central, tried to bring the house down with a thundering dunk.
Akeche Zugwu with the rebound. Here's Sharif Fordham pushing the ball up court. He finds James Head in the corner, goes inside Earl Boykins. The great look to Ink. No good. Tim's no good by Sharif Fordham. Finally pulled down by number 20. That's Borovich.
Oh, we're going to have a takedown tackle move.
Bad scramble on the court. I don't know what that's going to be called. Loose ball foul on Central, it appears.
I believe it'll be number 35, Carter. That will be his third foul. As Boykins was putting on a little dribbling display there, he kind of dove, and when he noticed he wasn't going to be able to hit the ball, he just kind of tackled Boykins and make sure he wasn't going to be able to go anywhere if he couldn't get the ball. And now it looks like Boykins is going to step to the line for two since Eastern is in the double bonus. Boykins has came on as of late. As we noted earlier in the game, he hadn't scored a lot of points, but he is currently at 10, going for his 11th point. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, I believe it is, Phil. You don't have the stat sheets. Earl Boykins drains that free throw. I think it's 4 for 6 so far in the night. He's 2 for 2 from the line that time. Make it 5 for 7. Here's Central pushing the ball up court. They're in their half-court offense now, going down low. Oh, blocked by James Head. That was Jared Glover attempting the layup. Here's Boykins. He'll pull up for it. He drains it.
The nice pull-up by Boykins. He recognized he had the easy shot. He took the nice little bank shot off the glass for two. As James Head started it all with a very good defensive play on the other end, trailing a player on the screen and being able to come up with the block to ignite the fast break.
Well, after a quick 6-0 run by the Eagles, the Chips are forced to call a timeout on the floor. They call 20 seconds. They want to regroup, go to their game plan for the last minute and a half of action here.
And you know that Coach Smith can be none too happy right now with the fact that they just had this ball game down to 1 point, and then they fell apart and let Eastern go on a 6-0 run to open the game back up right before the end of the half.
Here's Glover. He gets the ball to Kisner. Kisner pushing up court. He's working against Sharif Fordham. He finds number 22, that's Johnson. Johnson back to Glover. Kisner now on the near wing. He finds Shells working against Zajac. He tries the backdoor cut. It's no good. Here's Earl working the break. He's got Dial. Oh, and Dial takes a hard hit by number 34. That's Dan Shell.
And Dial gets up, and you can tell he's none too happy with the foul. He thought it was a little hard, but he did the smart thing and just walked away and didn't say anything. And what a showmanship move by Shell as he walks up and shakes hands with Dial to make sure he's all right, showing that he wasn't really intentionally trying to hurt anyone out here. He's just playing good, hard, clean basketball.
Or that he was saying, no, come get me in the parking lot after the game.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, Derek Dial is going to the line for the Eagles. Here's one of the phenomenal free throw shooters. He's at 73.6%, Phil. He'll take 2 here on this trip to the charity stripe.
Yes, and if Dial can knock these down, he'll give Eastern a 9-point lead, which I'm sure they'll be very happy to going into the half since they haven't played all that well here in the latter stages of the first half.
Dial so far tonight is 2 for 3. He has 4 points as of now. 1 minute, 5 seconds to go. 35-27 is your score. Pending this free throw, you're watching the ETV Game of the Week. I am Mike Pinsenalt, and this man is
Phil Freeman.
Dial connects on both of them. 3 for 4 from the line tonight. He has 5 points. Number 5 is now in the game. Brent Larson for the Chips. He's pushing the ball up court. As he's the 4th man we've seen work the point position for the Chips. Earl Boykins thought that ball was off of the Chips, but it'll go to the...
And Eastern's went back to that stifling man-to-man defense that has seemed to cause all kinds of problems for the Chippewas. They just seem to have no offensive rhythm.
Here's Shell. He looks a little lost this far outside. Right in front of us is Larson. He's working against Earl Boykins. He has nothing going on. The quick look inside of Kisner. He finds number 22. That's Johnson. He can't convert. There's Zajac. Give the ball to Sharif Fordham. But all he sees is a sea of maroon.
Yes, a lot of nice passing and nice cutting without the ball and ball movement.
Dial.
And Dial with an unbelievable shot. Hanging.
With no regard for human life.
Hanging, pump faking, and finally knocking down the jumper. And it looks like with 16 seconds left and the shot clock turned off, Central will hold for the last shot. Unless Earl Boykins is able to come up with the steal. Oh, and
instead he's going to come up with a foul.
Yeah, and you can hear the disapproval from the crowd as they thought there was no reason for that foul to be called on Boykins.
Well, that's his second personal.
And you could almost say a rather dumb foul.
Yeah.
By Earl. Even though he does have quite an uncanny knack of stealing the ball from people, so I guess we'll forgive him for that one.
There's Larson going to the line. He's an 83% free throw shooter here, Phil.
And he missed the first. Very uncharacteristic. Central just cannot seem to find the basket tonight. There must be a lid on that basket or something. Can we check that at halftime? Since Eastern's going to be going that way in the second half, can we make sure there's no lid on that basket?
We'll break it. 8.6 seconds to go. Earl Boykins pull up for the three-pointer. It's short. Derek Dial attempts to save it. He goes out of bounds, though. 0.8 seconds to go.
And it'll be interesting to see if Central attempts a shot right here or if they just inbound the ball and hold on. Oh, no, they're going to throw a baseball pass that's going to be picked off by James Head. And Earl Boykins is going to throw up a shot at the buzzer. Boykins drains the three, but the refs are going to wave it off. The refs are not going to count the basket. I don't know, Mike. I wish I had instant replay for that one because I thought that might have been good.
Now, you and I both know, Phil, it wasn't good. Even though we both like it to be good, I think that was a shot of the year so far for this Eastern Michigan University offense. Phenomenal.
Can we get on the internet and send that in as our SB vote for the college basketball play of the year?
Well, your halftime score here in Bowen Fieldhouse is Eastern Michigan University Eagles 38, Central Michigan Chips 28. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back after this with all your halftime scores, stats, and all the rest of the unknown stuff that you don't want to know, but Phil's going to tell you anyway on your ETV Game of the Week. I'm Mike Pinsenall. This is
Phil Freeman.
And we'll be right back after this.
You're an individualist, a person who can stand alone against all adversity.
But your grades suck.
Group study.
Well, the best way to learn is to teach someone else.
And when you study with someone, you can compare notes and better determine what will be on tests.
You can use the quiz bowl method.
What's the airspeed velocity of a laden English swallow?
There's safety in numbers.
If there's a problem you all have on a test, you can go to the prof as a group.
And always study with people who are stronger students than yourself.
We got a final in.
Welcome back to Bowen Fieldhouse here on your ETV Game of the Week. This is your halftime update. Your score is 38-28. Eastern up by 10. I'm Mike Pinsenall. My partner in crime tonight is
Phil Freeman.
Phil Freeman. Speaking of Phil Freeman, let's swing it over to Phil Freeman with some halftime stats.
All right, at halftime we have for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, Earl Boykins leading them in scoring with 14 points. But he only has 1 assist. We hope to see that stat increase in the second half.
3 steals for Earl, too.
3 steals, that is very nice. Second, a little surprise here. You would expect to see Derek Dial, but we see Inkache Azugu with 10 points. We mentioned earlier that Ink has had quite a few double-doubles this year. He only has 3 rebounds right now, but he has already achieved that 10-point plateau. We hope to see Ink get about 7 rebounds in the second half. Speaking of the rebounding slack, it is being picked up by John Zajac, who had 6 rebounds in the first half, and Derek Dial, who had 6 rebounds as well. Eastern in the first half shot 35% from the field, a dismal 14% from the three-point line, and a quite impressive 75% from the free throw line. Switching over to Central, their leading scorer is Ed Carter with 9 points, followed by Dan Schell, who has 7 points, and Tim Kistner, who has 7 points. Eastern, their leading rebounders are Ed Carter with 5 rebounds and Dan Schell with 5 rebounds. Eastern won the rebounding battle 23-19 in the first half, which was one of the keys to win the game for Eastern.
Well, there you go, Phil. You follow Phil's advice and you can't go wrong. Folks,
I try my best, Mike. I really
one more
do.
thing I'd like to add in here, Phil. Ed Carter, who's leading them in points with 9, tied for the lead in rebounds with 5, is also leading them in another category, personal fouls. He has 3 already.
Yes, and that could be very crucial, because if he picks up an early 4th foul here at the beginning of the second half, they will have to make a decision whether or not they want to send him to the bench. As far as foul trouble for the Eagles, it is virtually non-existent. Earl Boykins has 2, but he very rarely picks up very many more fouls than that. And Avon Howard picked up 2 quick fouls in the first half, but should be able to keep those down in the
What
second
really
half.
impresses me about that is their big men usually get in a lot of foul trouble, and all their big men only have 1 foul apiece, if any, which is a very impressive stat.
Yes, and I think Central's help contribute to our big men staying out of foul trouble by taking a lot of jumpers. And even though they took a lot of jumpers, they are holding true to their statistic, being the worst field goal percentage team in the MAC at a dismal 33% shooting for the first half from the field. Derek Dial falls a little short on that jumper, but John Zajac comes up with a strong rebound.
Well, here's Central Michigan, Phil. We'll get a...
Looks like we're going to have a moving screen called on number 34 for Central. That would be Dan Schell. That's going to be his 2nd personal foul.
Hear the crowd getting into it a little bit here, Phil.
The crowd
Earl
is on their feet
Boykins
applauding.
bringing the ball up court for the Eagles. He is working against, of course.
And it looks like Eastern is trying to set up a play here to get Dial going early in the second half. They've set a couple staggered screens on the baseline for him, but Central defended him very well. Here we have Zajac displaying that outside touch and knocking down the jumper very nicely. Zajac has a nice consistent jumper from right about 15 feet, and he can knock it down on a pretty consistent basis.
There's Earl Boykins. He is D'ing up against Borovich. As he gets stuck in a big pick there by
And there's
Shell.
J-Jack playing nice
They-
denial defense up top, as he always does. Takes him.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties here. Excuse us. We're back in action here. Central has the ball. Here's Glover, excuse me. He's working against James Head. He finds number 33, Tim Kisner. He's working against Derek Dial. Kisner gets the break on him. He'll take it to the hole. The finger roll, that's good.
Nice strong move by Kisner there, going to the rack and finishing nicely. Hopefully that can develop some momentum for Central.
John Zajac taking the long jumper. It rattles in and out. But two Eagles there for the Eastern Michigan University offensive rebound. It's Engache Zugu who gets the basket and the basket.
That's very nice to see two white shirts on the glass and no maroon jerseys as Eastern picks up on the missed shot and gets the three-point opportunity. Engache Zugu.
Well, it's going to be Dan Schell's third personal foul. The team's second so far this half. I think Zugu goes 3 for 4 from the line as he converts on that one. Making good of the three-point play. Here's Kisner working against the full court press. He finds down in the corner number 22, that's Luke Johnson. He'll pull it back out and set it back up as Schell has it up top now. There's Carter on the far side. Excuse me, that's Glover. That's Carter on the far side. Back to Glover. He's cutting in. It's no good. Rebounded by James Head.
Central looking to go to the basket a little more here in the second half. I think they realized in the first half that if you live and die by the jumper, they appear to be dying by it.
Derek Dow with a quick crossover, the cut to the lane. No basket, he'll get called for the offensive foul.
It looks like they're going to say now that they are going to count the basket and call the foul after the basket. It looked like the ref underneath signaled that the basket was going to be good, but I didn't look at the scoreboard to see if they credited him with that basket, did they?
It didn't appear so, I'm not sure. But back on the court with Central Michigan University. James Head with the near steal. Here's Carter, who gets blocked and swatted by Engache Zuglu. And Holmes in desperation to get the ball back. Carter goes out of bounds. Turnover, Eastern Michigan ball. Here's Earl Boykins pushing the ball up court. He got John Zajac in the near corner. Engache Zuglu back to Zajac. Finds James Head up top, far wing. Derek Dial gets called for the walk.
Yeah, I think they're going to call Dial for shuffling that pivot foot just a little bit. I don't know if he really picked it up, but it appears lately that if you even shuffle it, the refs call traveling.
Here's Central. They pass through the full court press with ease. As Glover has the ball in the near wing, he finds Schell up top. He thinks about the three-pointer over Engache Zuglu, but he rethinks it more. Glover working the ball up top. good, but the basket is followed up and connected by number 22, Luke Johnson.
And Central definitely appears to want to go to the basket and attack the basket more in the second half than just settling for the outside jumper.
Basket's no good by Earl Boykins, but James Head with the offensive rebound. Great passing, gets the ball to the interior to Derek Dial. Finds James Head for the deep deuce, and it's money.
And Eastern appears to have no problem living and dying by the jumper as they continue to knock it down relatively consistently.
Well, we got officials timeout on the court. We're going to take an official timeout here on ETV2. You're watching the ETV Game of the Week. With 15 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the ball game, Eastern is on top with a commanding lead, 49-33. I'm Mike Pinsenall. This is Phil Freeman. We'll be back with the ETV Game of the Week after this short break.
Realistically, maybe you want to pull yourself off.
There you go. There you go.
Come on, Luke. Don't give up, Luke. Come on, Luke. Luke. Don't give up, Luke.
Yeah, no.
Don't give up, Luke.
If you don't stop someone from driving drunk, who will? Do whatever it takes.
Welcome back to Bowen Fieldhouse here. You're watching the ETV Game of the Week. It's 49-33. Eastern has a 16-point lead over the Central Michigan Chips.
Yes, and Eastern has come out in the second half with an intensity, knocking down the jumper, playing good, aggressive defense, and just basically out-hustling and out-manning Central.
Going to be a little spill cleanup on the court. We're going to return to action here. Central inbounding the ball. That's Borovich. He gets it to the near wing. Borovich driving. He finds number 35. That's Ed Carter. Carter back out to Luke Johnson. Johnson back to Borovich. Borovich on the far wing. He's working against. Oh, the turnover. James Head can't handle it, but Sharif Fordham picks it up. They'll slow it down. They'll find Earl Boykins in the backcourt. They'll set up the Eagles offense.
And now it looks like Central has went back to it, or a 2-3 zone there, and it looks like they're going to try to slow this game back down and try to crawl back in it by keeping it a slow half-court game and possibly running some half-court offense when they get the ball back.
Here's Sharif Fordham. He finds John Zajac. The cutting of Johnny Williams. The leaning finger roll is no good. But James Head with another offensive rebound keeps it alive for the Eagles. Here's Zajac in the far wing. He finds Earl Boykins for the three-pointer. It's good.
That's a quick way to get Central to come out of that zone defense.
Something like a phenomenon. Earl Boykins hits the tray.
Yeah, and if he knocks down some more of those, Central will be forced to come out of that zone defense and go back to a man-to-man.
James Head with the steal. He's getting no basket, and he gets the offensive rebound. He had 2-on-1 break. I think he should have used John Zajac there, Phil.
Yeah, James got a little carried away. He got a little caught up in the moment and tried to go for the jugular, if you will. He wanted to bring the house down on that move.
He was trying to get jiggy with it.
Yes, he was. He wanted to bring the house down on that move.
I think this place would have erupted if he would have connected on that.
Yeah, the roof might have blown off. They might have had to farewell to Bowen early if he would have brought that one down.
Here's the deep pass to Shell. He finds Jansen, who thinks about it, but holds up. Here's Borovich.
And Central slows it up.
Kisner, excuse me.
Looks like they're going to try to work a half-court offense here and get a good shot in.
Jansen to Glover. To Kisner. Kisner's going to draw the foul on Sharif Fordham. No basket. That'll be Eastern's fourth team foul already here in this half.
Down 19, it appears that Central has realized they can't run with the Eagles. They need to try to slow this game down and change the tempo, which is definitely favoring Eastern at this time.
Boykins makes another three-pointer. It's no good. And Johnny Williams attempts to get the offensive rebound. Instead, we're going to foul.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Williams was on the back there of number 10 for Central Michigan, Jerry Glover.
5 team fouls already for the Eagles. 13 minutes, 10 seconds. But Johnny Williams redeems himself with a steal, but he throws it away. Dives forward. And Earl Boykins and James Head are getting cheeky with the fill.
Yeah, that was a very nice play. Eastern really turning up the pressure with the full court defense. They got the turnover. Johnny Williams intercepted the pass, then wisely moving the ball up the court. James Head wasn't looking, but the Eagles were able to recover. And with a 2-on-1 fast break, Earl Boykins, being the prolific passer that he is, threw a beautiful lob pass to James Head, who definitely knows how to finish.
Well, here's Central trying to redeem themselves after that embarrassing moment. Shell, the big man, working the ball up top. They're going down low. Oh, the quick pass to the cutter on the baseline. That's Glover. He can't connect, but he gets the foul.
Looks like a Johnny Williams is going to be called for a foul right there.
That'll be his third personal, second team foul. So real quick, the Eagles are getting a bit of foul trouble here. As we mentioned, they did so well in the first half, Phil. Maybe we jinx them a bit, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it has to do more with what I stated earlier. The Central's actually starting to go to the basket here in the second half. But right now it's looking like it might be too little, too late. There is a lot of time left in this game, but Central is down 20. And every time they cut into that 20-point lead, the Eagles go on another mini run to get it back to 20.
Derek Dow just came in for John Zajac, who came off the court limping. He went straight to the end of the bench, and he's seeing the trainer, Milt Barnes, is standing at his feet. He appears to be in a bit of a pain.
And that's not a good sign. If you remember earlier, Zajac had to sit out the Arizona tournament because he severely sprained an ankle in practice. I don't know if he's re-aggravated that injury possibly or not. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Three-pointer by Fordham's no good. The ball's tipped by Johnny Williams, rebounded by Boykins. He takes a three-pointer. It's cash.
Boykins knocking down another three, basically telling Central, if you're not going to come out here and guard me, I'm going to make you pay.
Earl Boykins out with 3 three-point field goals. Unofficially, he is 3 for 5. Basket no good. Offensive rebound by Central. And they get it to fall. That's number 25, Curtis Gilliland. He's got 4 points on the night.
Yeah, and Gillian might have got away with a little bit of an offensive foul. They're dipping his shoulder a little bit to clear out the room, but the ref didn't see it that way and let him get away with clearing out some space so he could easily lay the ball up and in.
Those are the officials' timeout on the floor, Phil. Eastern is up 57-37. Real quick, you're watching the ETV Game of the Week, brought to you by ETV. I am Mike Pinson. My partner in crime is Phil Freeman. And very quickly, Earl Boykins has ignited this Eastern offense. He now has 22 points unofficially on the night. He is on fire.
Yes, and that comes as no surprise. If you remember the Western game, and I don't know how many of you got to see it or in person or listen to it on the radio last Wednesday at Western, but with about 11 minutes left to go in the game, Earl Boykins had a measles 6 points. And then with 3 minutes left to go in the game, he had raised his total to 24. So over approximately a 7-point span, Boykins scored, a 7-minute span, Boykins scored 18 points. So you know he can turn it on whenever he feels like it.
Well, at the time, I understand Eastern was down by like 20. Earl was fed up with the offense was basically non-existent. And he said, I'm taking it over.
And that he did, and I believe Eastern cut the lead to as close as
6, I believe.
6 was as close as they got. I know it was pretty close, 5 or 6, but time was just their enemy. In the end, they wound up having to foul to try to get back in the game, and Western calmly stepped to the line and knocked down the crucial free throws that eventually ended up in a 13-point win for the Broncos of Western Michigan.
Speaking of Western, we got a score update, huh, Phil?
Yes, we do. The score just came across with 14:30 left to go in the second half. We have the Western Michigan Broncos are trailing the Toledo Rockets 49-44 in a key Eastern Conference rivalry. I believe that's for first place in the East, isn't it?
I'm not positive. I haven't seen the standings as of today. Dial gets a little floater. It's good. He now has 9 points on the night, looking to break the double-digit mark.
Excuse me, Mike. That would not be the East. That would be the West. These conferences are very confusing because I don't know how they really decide what teams are in the West because they're all in the East, aren't they?
I believe so.
But in the West, we do have Western Michigan, Toledo, Ball State, Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, and Central Michigan in that order as far as standings go. So this would be a matchup between number 1 and number 2 for first place in the conference, as Western and Toledo are both 6-2.
Here's Jansen. He takes a nasty spill, falling out of bounds. There'll be another turnover for this Chips team.
As I look at the stat sheet again, I think this is incorrectly stated on here because it looks like Ball State is 7-1 in the conference, and they should be in first.
Well, three-pointer's no good by D-Dial. Rebounded by Central, and that's Larson bringing the ball up court for the Central Michigan Chips. Man, the corner taking the three-pointers, Glover. It's no good. Rebounded by Sharif Fordham. He's bringing the ball up court. He's got Derek Down in the far corner, but he dishes to Earl Boykins, puts another three-pointer.
And Boykins is just in his zone right now. He can't miss. Everything he throws up is going in, carrying over from that three-quarter court three that he hit at the end of the first half, just after the buzzer had sounded.
Well, with that basket being no good, Boykins now has 25 points.
And there's Central finally getting some fast break points, something that they have been few and far between tonight for the Chips of Central Michigan.
Curtis Gilalen just kicked at him. Earl Boykins to Sharif Fordham right in front of us on the near wing. Working off a pick by Sharif Fordham. He rolled. Earl Boykins slowing things down a bit. With a 23-point lead, I guess you can do that kind of thing. Oh, Boykins no good, but Dial with an aggressive offensive rebound.
Yes, as we stated earlier, Dial is an outstanding rebounder for being a guard. He loves to go to the glass and clean up on the board.
Now, something I noticed on that one, Phil, Dial got the board. He had Sharif Fordham right by him, who had a wide open three-point attempt. Earl Boykins cross court, who had a wide open three-point attempt. He said, I only got 9 points. I need to score. I'm taking this one to the hole.
Yeah, well, I guess he felt he worked hard enough for the rebound that he deserved the chance at the putback. So.
Well, let's see if he makes it worth his while. The first one is up, and it's cash. 10 points now for Derek Dial. Let's see, he's 4 from 5 from the free throw line.
Yes, and that comes as no surprise, due largely to the fact that Dial is a 74% free throw shooter.
He's good on both of them. 5 for 6 from the line for Derek Dial so far tonight. There's Lars Jansen, excuse me.
And Eastern comes back with the dreaded full court press, and Central turns the ball over again.
So a full court press proves effective as Earl Boykins dribbling up court. He finds Sharif Fordham. Back to Earl. Thinks about the three-pointer. Derek Dial on the nice move. Nice pass by Earl Boykins. Chalk up 2 more for Derek Dial. He has 13. That's another assist for Earl Boykins.
Yes, and you can see that fiery look in Earl's eyes, like he's really out here with something to prove. I know he was really upset after the loss to Western on Wednesday.
Long pass up to Earl from Derek Dial. Dial repays the favor. Earl with 2, Dial with the assist.
And the Eagles are starting to run away with this one.
68-39 is your score right now in your ETV game of the week. We're gonna have a timeout on the court. 8 minutes, 26 seconds to go in this ball game, Phil. What can Central do to counter this stunning display of offense put on by the Eagles.
Oh, I don't know what Central can really do right now. The first thing they need to do is get some offensive confidence. Every time they put up a shot, Eastern is just getting out. They're beating them down the court. They're getting easy opportunities at the other end. When they do get in the half court, Earl is just breaking Central down defensively and then finding open players. Most recently, Derek Dial on a few instances for the easy offense. And then Central's not even able to establish their own offense due to the full court press the Eastern is applying to them.
Well, the band playing a lovely tune here.
Yes, you got
getting into it a bit.
You have to have an appreciation for Eastern's band. Regarded by some as one of the more animated, shall we say, bands in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, that's a fair way of putting it.
As we have the cheerleaders and dance squad out here trying to get the crowd excited. It looks like the crowd's had a little bit of wind taken out of their sails. They're spoiled now. Eastern's lead is so large that they just want to sit back, relax, and enjoy their popcorn.
Well, I even see some of the fans already exiting as I can only expect to hear the chant, warm up the bus, because this ball game's over. 68-39 your score, 8 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the ball game. Central trying to come back from a devastating deficit.
Yeah, I think they're going home to start that pre-Super Bowl partying a little early there, Mike.
No basket. He will walk. Tim Kisner with another turnover for the Chips.
And Central, you can see the look of bewilderment on Central's face. They just don't know what to do. They can't get their offense going. They can't get their defense going. They're just at a loss for words. There we saw Eastern try to set up a backdoor play for Derek Dial, but read nicely by Central, and they were able to thwart the attempt.
Here's Jansen working against Earl Boykins. He finds number 33. That's Tim Kisner, who looks inside. A great look to Jansen. He uses the angle, but it's no good.
And Central just can't get anything to fall. I think at halftime, the facilities people got up there and moved the lid from one basket to the other because Central just can't get a thing to fall.
Oh, great. Johnny Williams just calling for the oop, who's pointing to the rim saying oop, oop.
Yes.
Earl Boykins takes it back and resets the offense.
Yeah, Boykins decided wisely, I think, to come out and slow the offense down.
Fordham buries a three-pointer.
And it looks like Boykins' decision to slow it down and work the offense around paid off. As Sharif Fordham comes up with a nice three-point opportunity.
That's his first basket of the night, Phil, as he has 3 points now off that three-point play.
Yes, and I think very soon we should see more Eastern players who don't get as much playing time out on the court so they can get some game experience here with Eastern starting to roll away with a victory easily.
One point I noticed he was in street clothes today, and I don't know why, is Jermaine Sheffield. Do you know why?
No, I do not know why Jermaine Sheffield did not dress for tonight's contest. I don't see any reports in my game notes on it, so.
Well, regardless, here's the Eagles offense. Sharif Fordham working the point right now. He gives the ball up to Earl Boykins. Boykins working off a pick. He's working against, Earl Boykins with a very rare turnover.
Very uncharacteristic of Boykins to lose the ball when he's out there dribbling it like he has it on a string.
Well, Carter gives it to Shell. He finds Jansen, he'll take the three-pointer. It's no good. The steal by by the Eagles. There's Boykins with the alley-oop. And Johnny Williams didn't even get it after he called for it. I'll tell you, Johnny Williams does not play with very much confidence, it seems.
I don't know what happened there, if he just got too excited and just watched the ball go through his hands or what, but it was a very nice pass from Boykins, and Williams just didn't catch the ball. Maybe he needs to go over to the bench and get some stickum from Gary Strickland, the trainer, or something.
Derek Dow get an all-expense paid trip to the charity stripe, courtesy of Central Michigan University. This first one's nothing but net.
Looks like we're going to have mass substitutions here by Central Michigan.
Bringing in the bench.
And quite an interesting bench they have.
Actually, they've played just about everybody here tonight.
Yes, which is not surprising since as I read some of their media notes from Central, they boast the fact that not many teams in the country can say that it has played 7 walk-ons this season like the Chippewas. Wow. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know if I brag about that too much.
Yep. The walk-ons would be Lee Hampton, a senior from Jackson, Dan Schell, a freshman from Mount Pleasant, Luke Johnson, freshman from Gaylord, Brent Larson, who was a walk-on but is now on scholarship, who's also a freshman, and sophomores Ted Baggett, Todd Simmons, and Chad Bailey.
Well, there's 5 minutes, 43 seconds to go on your ETV game of the week. The Eastern Michigan University Eagles are winning 72-41. I'm Mike Pinson. My partner in crime is none other than Phil Freeman. As Jansen is working against Corey Tarrant. Simmons finds number 22. That's Luke Johnson. Back to Johnson on the give and go. He converts. Hole so big you can drive a truck through it.
Yeah, it looks like the Eagles are getting a little lazy there on defense. They're more than willing to still play offense, though, but with such a huge lead so late in the game, and Central not really appearing to pose any threat of coming back, it's easy to become very relaxed.
Corey Tarrant just gigged on him.
Yes, a nice look from a Johnny Williams, who was triple teamed in the post, and looked to the opposite post for the wide open Corey Tarrant, who threw it down.
For his first two of the night, I might add.
Everyone's getting in the scoring act tonight. In a minute, the managers are going to be trying to throw on extra uniforms and sneak up in there, I think.
I wouldn't mind seeing Chad double out there trying to get him a deuce.
That would be an interesting sight. Or how about Nate Purcell?
Good old Nate.
Going out there jacking up a 3 for us.
I wouldn't mind seeing Chub Dog take it to the hole.
That would be a sight. I don't think he can get away from his camera duty, though.
Four minutes, 37 seconds to go. Eastern on top, 74-43. Here's Shell trying to take it to the hole. He'll turn it over. That was none other than Corey Tarrant comes up with the ball. Here's Sharif Fordham right in front of us. He's working the near wing, brings it up top.
At these late stages of the game, the Eagles realize that the clock is their best friend, and they might as well cooperate with him.
Well, Johnny Williams knocks down a jump that's most people would say out of his range. He didn't hesitate.
Yeah, Johnny Williams stepping out, showing the nice outside touch that he would appear to possess from that shot. And with such a large lead, I mean, you pretty much have a green light to shoot anything within reason. I mean, pulling up from the MAC sign would not be within reason, but...
Well, unless, you know, you or I were out there.
Yeah, well, our range is unlimited, but...
The rebound by Derek Dial. He's been a monster on the boards tonight. He's working the ball up court. He finds Sharif Fordham. He'll take the three-pointer. It's no good. Over the back call on Corey Tarrant. He's not happy with that call, Phil.
Yeah, he appears a little frustrated. I'm not sure why. I think it was pretty obvious from the angle where I was sitting that he clearly grabbed the guy right on the shoulder to hold him down, but I guess Corey didn't see it that way. But when you're getting fouls called on you, you never do quite see it the same way as the official, do you, Mike?
Well, it's only his first foul of the ball game, though. Although Eastern has 9 team fouls already. Number 52, Todd Simmons, will get an all-expense-paid trip to the charity stripe, courtesy of Corey Tarrant and the Eastern Michigan University Eagles. He makes it worth his while. He converts on the first one. He'll get one more vacation day, Phil.
One more vacation day is always nice. I could use a few more of them.
Couldn't we all? He makes them both. Todd Simmons, 2 free throws. He has 2 points. We got a timeout on the floor. Eastern Michigan is on top, 76-45, Phil. 3 minutes, 36 seconds to go on your ETV game of the week. What have you been thought? What are your thoughts been on this game as of yet, Phil?
Well, early in the game, Eastern started out as only Eastern can and always does, a little slow, a little lackluster, not really into it. They let Central hang around. It was a close 3 to 5 point ball game for most of the first half. And then right there, with about 4 minutes left to go in the first half, Eastern started to turn it up a level and started to pull away from Central. And it's been all downhill for the Chips since then. They've really not been able to mount anything on offense or defense.
Or the band has got done playing a number that's dear and true, and I think both of our hearts, Phil.
What would that be, Mike?
You know, there's no need to repeat it.
What was it, Three Blind Mice?
Has one lyric to it.
That could be loved by, shall we say, all college students?
It's a student song, Phil. It's a college hymn.
College hymn. I like that, a college hymn.
Well, what do we got going on here?
I believe we had a loose ball foul on Central, holding on the inbound.
Where's Derek Dial? Working off the inbound. 3.5 minutes to go here. Shot clock is at 25. Shreve Fordham is working the point up top. Derek Dial now. He'll take it to the hole. He'll pull up. Count it as he drains the 10-foot J on the baseline.
A nice move by Dial. Dribbles in, gets by one defender, then pulls up and knocks down the soft little jumper. And as I look at the court for the Eagles, I noticed that Earl Boykins is no longer in the game. I wonder if he called it a short day at the office today and has taken the rest of the night off.
He hasn't been in the game for about 3 or 4 minutes. I think he's letting Shreve Fordham get some PT, as he hasn't gotten a whole lot this season.
Yeah, well, that's very generous of Earl to share in the PT.
Well, I'm not sure if it's his call or not, but regardless, he's sitting on the bench between John Zajac and Jermaine Sheffield. As Derek Dial gets 2 more points, and Dial's getting the act of things here.
Yeah, and with Central apparently starting to fall asleep on defense as well as on offense, Derek Dial took advantage of the fact that they didn't really get back and just exploded to the basket for the easy layup.
Luke Johnson took that ball to the hole pretty hard. He'll draw the foul from number 35, Geeter, Dwayne Geeter Burns.
Dwayne Geeter Burns told
Geeter's getting some PT.
Told Mr. Johnson that if he wanted to go to the rack, he was going to pay the price.
I've been waiting to see Geeter get some PT.
And
Geeter's a good guy.
You know, with Geeter being a football player and all, he's not afraid to throw that body around and get a little physical down there.
Well, Johnson makes both the free throws. He has 4 points on the night now. As Fordham dribbles up court for the Eagles. Dial has the Eagles' last 4 points. Trying to work off a pick from good old Geeter. That's a big pick to work off of, too.
Yes, and I think they're going to call Luke Johnson for a hold.
We're talking about a 6'8", 280-pound pick.
That is a very large pick. I think even you could get around a defender if you had one of those set for you, Mike.
I'm kind of slow, Phil. I don't know. I'd try, though. I'd give it my all.
Or would you just step back and show us your prolific range?
Yeah, you know me too well, Phil. Interesting. Yeah, Johnny Williams and Geeter both in. A couple big bodies down low for the Eagles. As Dial looking to go 2 for 2 on this trip. He is 8 for 9 now from the free throw line, unofficially.
Dial turning in, as usual, an impressive performance from the free throw line.
20 points so far in the night for Derek Dial. As the three-pointer is no good. Rebounded by Geter. And listen to the crowd's reaction.
You can hear the appreciation from the crowd. Everyone, there's always a crowd favorite. Usually walk-ons are big crowd favorites. And now Geter has a ball on offense.
Geter to the turn. Oh, it's no good. And the crowd is really behind Geter. You gotta love that.
You can hear the enthusiasm from the crowd for some of the players that don't get quite as much playing time.
Geter with the block, and this place is erupting. Shreve Fordham, he's getting jiggy with them. He dunks him home.
And some of the Eagle bench is really starting to get into it. They don't care what the score is. They're going to come out and play hard, and they're going to show the intensity.
They're bagging their teammates. They want to see good old Geter get some PT. But Tim Kisner just knocks down a three-pointer. That's only the second three-pointer made so far tonight by Central Michigan. Oh, they're going to call the offensive foul on Geter. And Geter's looking to steal for his first collegiate points as an Eastern Michigan University basketball player.
And I think if the Eastern bench and the Eastern fans have their way, I think Geter is going to score tonight. With just over a minute left, they're going to do their best to get him in the scorebook. A look at disbelief on Geter's part after being called for that offensive foul. I mean, he dipped his shoulder, and when you're that big, I don't think the official's really going to let you get away with dipping your shoulder.
Well, the crowds get into it finally. They've been kind of dead and dismal, but with 46 seconds to go, they're backing their boy Geter. As Geter's going to get called for the foul there, I believe. It was a great effort, though. He nearly got another block.
Yes, he did. A nice effort, nice footwork by the big fella to keep himself in between his man and the basket. But he got Gillian on the arm.
Out of all the Eagles who can ignite this crowd, who would have thought it'd be one named Dwayne Geter Burns?
Yes, Geter definitely appears to be a crowd favorite right now, as we do see a lot of fans starting to stroll out of Bowen, but there are still quite a few who want to stay till the end.
I think we had a lane violation call there, so we're going to redo that free throw. That's Curtis Galen. He has 4 points so far tonight. He missed his first free throw, looking to redeem himself on the deuce. No good, and Geter with his first collegiate rebound.
Yes,
his first rebound, his first block, and he's looking for his first points here.
And you can hear the enthusiasm from the crowd.
And Central knows they're going to him. They're double teaming him all day long.
Even triple teaming him, they're not going to let him get the ball. Oh, he gets the ball in the post, and 3 or 4 guys collapse on him. We're going to have a jump ball.
I want to see him go to the line.
Yeah, well.
22 seconds left to play. Shot clock is at 16 for the Eagles, as Derek Dowell will inbound the ball for Eastern Michigan University.
And there are about 3,000 point guards in the stands that all want to see Geter get the ball. And there he has it. The shot's up. Oh!
They will get the foul, though.
Geter will draw the foul. He will have an all-expense-paid trip, as you like to say, Mike, to the free throw line to see if he can bring the house down.
This place is erupting. You gotta love this. Everyone's having fun. This is what basketball is about, everyone. This is why everyone should come out and check out the Eagles.
If Geter hits his free throw, we might have to take cover.
He missed the first one.
You can hear the air just let out of the building as Geter.
This place will get dead silent for the second one. If he hits it, it will erupt. Yes!
And there he goes! As you can see the approval from the crowd.
Dwayne Geter Burns with 1 point. He's on the boards. He's in the books, folks. And this place is loving it.
His collegiate career has begun, and from the way the fans are reacting, they hope it's far from over.
Another three-pointer by Tim Kisner. That's his second. He now has 15 points to lead Central in scoring.
And he appears to be knocking down the 3, but too little, too late.
They tried to get Geter one last look to try to get a field goal, but he didn't do it. However, Dwayne Geter Burns, a career high in points, 1. Career high in rebounds, 1. A career high in blocks, 1.
And a definite...
Is there any doubt that he's the ETV player of the game?
I think we have to give it to him because he incited a riot from the crowd in the late stages of the game when they looked like they were all dead. He brought the crowd to their feet and brought some life back to Bowen in the late stages of a pretty much second half cakewalk for the Eagles.
You name anyone else that had a hat trick and career highs tonight, and I'll give them my ETV player of the game, but it's going to Dwayne Geter Burns.
And on a night in which Eastern had a fairly easy game with the cellar dweller of the MAC West, I think it is safe to say that Geter can have the player of the game.
Well, your final score here in Bowen Fieldhouse, Eastern Michigan University, 85, Central Michigan, 53. As Eastern blows them out of here, everyone in Bowen Fieldhouse is happy except for the Central fans. We're going home on the bus back to Mount Pleasant. And what a long bus ride that'll be, Phil.
It will not be a pleasant bus ride for the Chips of Central Michigan. And from the way it looked tonight, there's going to be quite a few unpleasant bus trips as the season continues. Central falls to 1-8 in the MAC.
Well, unofficially, Earl Boykins finished the game, I believe, with 25 points, Phil.
Yes, another impressive showing for Earl Boykins, who was coming into this game averaging roughly 23, 24 points a game and in the top 10 in the country in scoring.
We just had this in. Toledo is beating Western 71 to 70.
Was that in regulation or did that go to overtime?
Yeah, second half on it. 7 minutes 47 to go.
Oh, it's still, I thought you said it was over. I'm sorry.
Nope. Well, Toledo is up 71 to 70. We got barn burner going on down in Toledo.
Down there on UAT's campus, a barn burner going on for second place in the MAC West.
Well, we'll be back after this quick commercial break with all of your final stats, possibly interviews, who knows, wacky and kooky things going on here at Bowen Fieldhouse tonight, folks. I'm Mike Pinsenall. This is
Phil Freeman.
And we'll be back on your ETV Game of the Week right after this. Stay tuned.
You are 100% unadulterated energy. You have no choice but movement. You aren't acted on. You are action. You have the power to make the world a better place. You already know how to do it. Volunteer now for the American Red Cross. Call your local chapter for details.
Welcome back to Bowen Fieldhouse. I'm Mike Pinsenall. This is my partner in crime, Phil Freeman. We are joined by the ETV player of the game tonight. He had numerous career highs. Dwayne Geter Burns. Thanks for taking the time out, Dwayne.
No problem, no problem.
Now, mind if I call you Geter?
Yeah, you call me Geter Burns. You know, they call me G-Lope too. You know, you call me
so I wasn't aware. Call you Collect? All right. Well, we're here. I'll just call you Dwayne. Keep it simple. Right. We're here with Dwayne. He had his first collegiate points as an Eastern Michigan University basketball player. Tell me, how did that feel when you made that basket?
Well, you know, I was just, after that, you know, after the first free throw, I was just trying to, the reason why I was short, because I was trying to time it right and make it all net, because I know every time I hit the rim, it's not going to go in. So in the second one, just kept my concentration. I knew the crowd was into it. I knew I was into it emotionally. I just tried to do the best that I could to make the free throw, and it went in.
I also understand you're working on the spin move in practices. Right. Now, tell us a little bit about this move that you're going to unveil on us pretty soon.
Are you talking about a move that was supposedly offensive foul? Supposed offensive foul.
That's the one.
That was the first move. That was the first thing that they went over with me in practice. You know, the first day I walked out here, all I was trying to do was dunk and shoot threes and lay it up. They was like, no. We brought you in here to help the team out down low, to bang, you know, do real good post moves, and if all else failed, be physical. Basically, I do that try to do it 100 times before and after each practice. I have perfected it. I think the reason why they call it offensive foul, I don't know if it's either because I wrap my leg around, which I am taught to do, or I had to put my arm up to keep the shot from getting blocked. You know, I don't know about how the referees officiate that call. I'm not criticizing referees at all. I just don't know. I'm not familiar as far as down low as how the officials call post moves. So I really wasn't sure about the call. I didn't argue it. I was like, oh man, all this and all that. But other than that, you know, I don't have any problem with the referees. I think they did a pretty good job tonight, and I hope we get a good referees like that every game.
All right. Now, eligibility-wise, as far as basketball concerns, because I know you also play football. Yes. What's your standings on eligibility right now?
Well, right now, I am a true junior in basketball. I am a redshirt sophomore. Going to next year, I'll be a redshirt junior, and I'll be a basketball senior. I don't know if they'll allow me to play basketball my 5th year because I'll still be here. I don't know how that's going to work. I did sit out 2 years, so I don't know if the NCAA is going to consider that into me playing the 5th year. I don't know. But right now, I'm just really happy to work hard and play real good. Against the Ohio game, you know, I was real nervous. My legs wasn't there and my wind wasn't there, but you know, I got out here tonight and I was feeling real relaxed, real calm, and you know, I just thank God for everything He's given me. You know, I don't have any shame in that, but you know, all in all, I just had fun tonight. You know,
I think everyone did when you were out there, as the crowd really backed you. I know we were talking earlier, and you had a couple questions you really wanted to ask Dwayne. Go ahead and shoot.
Yes, there's one question I'd like to ask you, Dwayne. How did it feel when you scored the basket and the crowd just exploded to their feet? I mean, you got the treatment of Earl Boykins or Derek Dial there for a minute. How does that feel?
Well, you know, football-wise, I'm not the strongest person in the world, but I'm not the weakest. I'm not the fastest. Obviously, football, I'm struggling right now because of my strength. But I think when I got on the court, a lot of people, you know, through the years, a lot of bad things happened to me, like my mother's passing, and a lot of personal problems that I went through. And coming into college, I didn't know whether I really wanted to keep going, but I'm not a quitter, so I was like, well, I'll just stick with it. If this bad things happen, I just gotta keep letting them happen, as long as I don't quit. But tonight, you know, when I made that free throw, what's up? Excuse me. When I made that free throw, you know, I was just like, on net, you know, I didn't make like a big deal out of it because that's something I could work on, try to get better.
Okay. Now, I know Phil and me were talking about this earlier. When was the last time you actually played organized basketball?
I'll put it to you this way. My 9th grade year, I went to Detroit Cass Technical High School, and basically I was in the Wade McCree program, and I was all about trying to get rid of stereotypes that only inner city kids go to college by playing basketball and football. I wanted to get into school with my book smarts as well as my street smarts. So I really wasn't interested in playing basketball for high school. My sophomore year, however, you know, I started playing around, started skipping school, and I wanted to play basketball all of a sudden. And I was ineligible. I did make the junior varsity final cut, but I wasn't eligible. My junior year, I transferred to Detroit Southwestern High School. Basically, I was just trying to get a feel. I don't know if the college rules apply to high school rules where you have to sit out if you transfer. I didn't know about all that, but regardless of that, I didn't play. I worked out with the football team and a little bit with the basketball team. And then my senior year, without knowing what the offensive line was, I was struggled all through that senior high school summer camp. And then I found myself starting for Southwestern High School football team in left tackle. And former EMU coach Ron Cooper came directly to my house, said, do you want a scholarship? I was like, no doubt. And that's why I'm here now. As far as basketball goes, I played for a while, but you know, I was out of shape. I was starting to get fatter, and my work ethic wasn't real good. I had got the big head or whatever, and I quit the basketball team because I felt I already had a scholarship. I had nothing to lose, and there was a lot of seniors on the team, and there was some juniors trying to come up, so I felt I had to step aside so the juniors would know, try to get more playing time so they get ready for this, senior year. So that's why I didn't have a lot of experience as far as organized basketball is concerned.
Well, you couldn't tell it out there tonight. You looked great. Thanks for taking the time out to hang out with us, and best of luck with the rest of the season.
Yep, thank you very much for joining us, Dwayne. It's a great story of hard work and how it pays off. We appreciate your time.
No problem.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right, well, once again, Eastern Michigan University beat Central Michigan 85-53, as you just saw. Eastern Michigan was led by Earl Boykins, 25 points, 5 assists. Derek Dial, Double D, got the Double D.
The Double D. The 22-point, 10-rebound performance by Derek Dial is nothing new to Eastern fans. Dial is a great scorer and a great rebounder, as we all see and know each game.
Now, something that really surprised me here was the assists. Eastern finished with 21 assists, Central 6. Earl Boykins almost equaled Central himself in assist columns. We had numerous people with 3 or more assists on this team, some of them big men like John Zajac, James Head, stuff you don't see this team doing a lot, and they were really out there performing. They were really generous, and it showed in the final score.
Yes, it did. They were out there having a lot of fun, playing together as a team, and it really showed that they were having fun in the second half when they pretty much ran away with this contest.
Now, if we don't take Geeter as our player of the game, who do you pick, Phil, as a runner-up?
Well, I think I would have to go with Derek Dial tonight with the double-double performance that was very impressive. His energy that he brings to the team, as well as his hard play and his production on the paper, is a definite asset to this Eagle team.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'd have to take Earl Boykins. He came out the second half, was just on fire. He knocked down 3-pointers from everywhere on the court. He had 5 assists and 4 steals, I might add, too. And he was, sorry, Dan Patrick, but in fuego.
Well, you know, Mike, night in and night out, I think every night almost you could give Earl Boykins the player of the game, but you have to spread it around. You have to spread it around a little bit. You have to recognize individual outstanding performances on one said night, but I think it can go without saying that Earl Boykins is the MVP of this team.
Oh, no doubt. Indubitably even. But regardless, enough about play on words. We're going to wrap it up here. Again, your final score, Eastern Michigan University 85, Central Michigan 53. For Phil Freeman, my partner in crime tonight.
And Mike Pincinall, my partner in crime.
This has been your ETV Game of the Week. Stay tuned for upcoming games right here on ETV.